Hey everyone, I'm Michael,
I'm Amanda.
and we're excited to be back with you guys. You see, we're in our workout clothes. Sometimes we get dressed up to do videos with you guys, but you're just like family now. And so we're gonna cover some of the things in this new series that we're doing on stuff that we learned from our premarital class. Shout out to Watermark and Merge, the program that we did. Here in Dallas. It was a phenomenal program, and so we're really grateful for that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about expectations, and Amanda's going to kick it off.
So starting off, we learned that there are 3 key problems with expectations, and we've experienced these firsthand.
Yeah.
One key problem is that you can be unaware of expectations you have for your relationship. So at one point in our relationship, I was kind of upset and I didn't know why, but I realized during a conflict that we were having that I wanted Michael to ask me questions, and that was an expectation I had and I didn't know. Which leads me to the next expectation. If Even if reasonable, expectations can be unspoken. So if I knew, and I know that it's reasonable for me to say, can you ask me more questions? It makes me feel like you care more. I needed to voice that. And my voicing that is what made us transparent and help us to have a really open and honest and comfortable, accommodating relationship. So.
Yeah. Another thing, the last thing is that sometimes your expectations can be unreasonable. As a guy, I'm a visual creature, and so I didn't realize at the beginning of my relationship that these were my expectations. But I was like, yeah, if you could just like wear your hair like this every day, and then do your makeup like this, and then always wear heels, and then always do all these things, like that was like an expectation of mine. But that's
And I
kind
was
of
like, yeah.
but that was kind of unreasonable. Like I'm not gonna be doing all those things. Like, not that I wear heels, but like I wasn't gonna be like doing all those things every day. But to expect that of her was kind of unreasonable. Or even like the fact that I like straight hair. Amanda has beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous, natural curly hair. There are like tons of women who pay like a lot of money for weaves that
I pay him to say this.
they pay like money for weaves and stuff that look like her hair, so it's very, very valuable to her. And I like that her hair like that, but I also like straight hair. But to expect her to straighten her hair and it may cause heat damage like all the time, that is an unreasonable expectation if I want her to have a certain level of happiness. And
So, a better way to manage expectations is to be aware of what you expect, to be reasonable in what you expect, to be open in what you expect, and to be willing to listen to the Lord. So, we've experienced this firsthand. So, we have a little story to tell you about how we've learned this.
So we started off, we were in our like second week of premarital counseling, and we were having a conflict over something. I think we just weren't vibing. Like, sometimes you just have your significant other and like you just don't feel close to them. And so I, we were there and I could tell something was wrong, but I'm a timely type person. And so I want to be punctual. And in my head, I'm thinking like, I don't even want to solve this conflict right now because it's going to take probably like 30 minutes when even it wasn't going to take that long. Like, if I was aware of Amanda's expectations, then it could have been solved really quickly. I knew Amanda's love language was words of affirmation, but I wasn't giving her enough of that. And so I was trying to give her that, but I didn't know that she wanted more. And so I'm just like, what do you want from me? And so it was really, really frustrating.
And then in my case, I was both being unreasonable and I wasn't being open about what I expected of him. Michael is all about time, like he just said. I know time is huge for him. He hates being late. If I'm in the bathroom too long getting ready for something, he'll be like, really kindly, love, you have 5 minutes left. And I'm like, I know.
4 minutes.
Yeah, he does that.
2 minutes.
But I didn't voice to him what I was feeling or what I expected of him, simply because I was being stubborn and because I was afraid to be open in that situation and not get what I expected in return, because I knew that he was just thinking about getting there on time. And so because of this, we were late and we were both unhappy. And so we kind of had to learn the hard way to listen to the Lord, really. And that's the last point, be willing to listen to the Lord. And I recognized how selfish I was being in that moment. And in the long run, it was a learning moment. Looking back, it was a moment where we can say, I know that for next time. I know that I can put my wants, my needs on the shelf for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and we can talk about it later. Even if it's a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's me dying to my flesh, knowing that Michael's going to love me and Michael's going to care, and we can still talk about it later. But right now, we need to honor each other, be on time, and I need to honor his time, and make my expectations clear as well.
Yeah, so I think that that's really important, listening to the Lord, even for us guys, just to, in those moments, I mean, it's easy to kind of be in your feelings, you know what I mean? Especially like when you're trying and putting effort out there and you don't feel like you're getting that in return. But in those moments, you just try to take those moments to pray about it. You know what I mean? Just ask God, like, how can I make her feel valued right now? Like, in what ways am I being selfish? Am I in my feelings, you know? And that way you can be better equipped to lead your significant other. And so it was funny because that premarital counseling session ended up being on conflict. And here we are, like, mad at each other in our premarital session about conflict. And we're like, giving each other the side eye, and it was just like...
and then we just started warming up to each other, and...
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, it's like, you just have to realize many of these conflicts aren't a big deal. There are things to learn from. I have to think about, like, take time to think about what we even were arguing about at that time. So, just keep the eternal perspective in mind. I think Amanda you have those 3 points you wanted to finish off with?
Absolutely. One thing to keep in mind when you're going to marry someone, which we learned in Merge, is that, 4 things. 1, you'll be conducting your marriage in a fallen world. 2, you're a sinner who's marrying a sinner. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you recognize that already.
Amanda's beautiful. She actually doesn't sin, but I have enough sin for the both of us. So.
He's winning points. All right, 3, there are some expectations you need to die to. We've both learned that. And 4, my favorite, God is faithful in the midst of it all.
Yeah. I mean, God's so faithful. He's so good. And I mean, he's even given us the opportunity to minister to you guys and to help out literally hundreds of thousands of people. And so we love you. We thank you guys so much for reading or listening to our blog. Feel free to read some of our blog. I think I said blog before, but I meant blog, YouTube thing, whatever. But feel free to read our blog as well. We'll put the links down below. And we love you guys so much. See you soon.